Well, it ain't easy being Breezy is finally out, so may as well get into the episode by becoming a Breezy. Here I go. Oops, wrong generation. No worries, I can fix this. Now, where did my remote go?
Hey Redcord, do you want to do a collab? I got that song stuck in my head and figured a collab would make it go away. Redcord? Where is he? Oh, a giant fly. Redcord, I just swat a fly for you. Can we do that collab now? Sorry about that, dude. I didn't know you were planning on turning yourself into a Breezy. Why did you turn yourself into a G3 Breezy?
I didn't intend to. My remote wasn't programmed with this new design of the Breezies.
Why didn't you turn yourself back? Oh, never mind.
Can you just reach my remote to turn me back?
Oh sure, where can I find...
What was that?
Definitely not the sound of a remote cracking, if that's what you're thinking. Sorry about that, dude.
Ugh, just forget it. Start the review.
Again. This episode for me is a guilty pleasure. Don't get me wrong. On my first sitting, I thought the episode was amazing, but during my second sitting, I noticed all sorts of plot holes. Yes, it was adorable in many ways, and it was very funny, but that was icing on a soggy cake. There are way too many plot holes in this episode.
I was excited to see that we might actually get new species in the show as well as get some world building. We first got a mention of the Breezies from Three's a Crowd, and we know that it must be very hard to get permission by the Equestrian Society of Rare Creatures in order to observe them, and I'm surprised that Three's a Crowd actually had a very important purpose for this episode. Fluttershy said she knows the language of all kinds of creatures, which was hard to believe at first because of the vampire fruit bat incident. However, Fluttershy never had a chance to observe the bats and learn their language, but this time around, Fluttershy actually got a chance to learn the language of the Breezies.
I cannot give that a pass, because before Fluttershy interacted with the Breezies in this episode, she never came into contact with them. Before you say yes, she did go to observe them in that episode, not to interact with them. So there was no time frame in between Three's a Crowd and this episode for her to interact with them and learn their language. Would you like to explain how she learned an entire language in that short time frame? That is, if you have an explanation for this, Redcord?
Nope, I do not.
Then how can you be sure she actually got to learn their language?
I cannot. You're gonna see a lot of things in this episode that go unexplained. So with that said, and the Breezy's arrival in Ponyville, nothing can go on until a leaf comes and messes up the flight pattern.
Really? A leaf? How would a small thing like that interrupt a breeze like that?
Hey, Breezies are delicate creatures and require a small breeze to keep the pollen safe, and anything disrupting the flow can create a chain reaction.
Oh really? If I blew some air on you, would you go spinning out of control? Let's test that.
What? Whoa! Don't do that again!
Okie dokie Loki. Anyway, in the episode, they said it took 2 days for the portal to close, but the Breezies who got left behind decided to stay in Fluttershy's home instead of returning to their loved ones. They picked being pampered over returning to their families with a valuable resource. This scene lasted 9 minutes of a 22-minute episode. During this time, we learned absolutely nothing. We had tons of missing information, but we did learn one thing: the Breezies made their own Breezy Super Fun Land instead of doing what is important for them to survive, or so we believe.
Speaking of missing information, I want to go over the portal to the Breezy's universe, or whatever the hell that was. The portal seems to be magical in the sense of opening during a particular period of time, like the mirror in Equestria goes. It also has a time limit before it closes, so the remainder of the episode is about getting the few Breezies back to their universe before they are stuck in this world. This would have been a good adventure story and had the opportunity for world building, but no, the Breezies just care about staying home with Fluttershy and don't want to leave the safety of her home, all except for Seabreeze, that is.
With two alternate universes now known, which are the Breezyverse and the Equestria Girls universe, this leaves the question of, are there more? With multiverse theory, there is an unlimited spectrum of different universes. There can be many more portals with universes we have not seen yet. I mean, who would not want a universe where ponies are dragons and dragons are ponies?
Spike?
I guess he would be lunch then.
So, moving on, Fluttershy realizes that she has acted too kind towards the Breezies, while Seabreeze learns that he was too mean-spirited towards the other ones, and this is exactly what's keeping them from going home. Fluttershy now has to make them leave because it's the only way to get them to leave, and this means going against her kind nature. This then causes a rainbow shimmer since Fluttershy demonstrated the element of kindness to someone else, and they now head off to take the Breezies home. However, because there are less of them now, the breeze can no longer carry them to their destination. So, what's the only thing to resolve this conflict?
Hello, new toy line.
So to wrap all this up, the Breezes make it home to their families just in time. We also got a good lesson, and one of them got a key. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention.
The key itself is another plot hole in this entire story. The key itself was a freaking flower. The only reason the Breezies went to the Ponyverse was for pollen, which comes from flowers. If the Breezies have flowers in their own universe, that makes the whole reason for the Breezies going to the Ponyverse invalid. They took a huge risk for something they could have obtained in their own universe. Unless this pollen is special in any way, an entire episode was wasted. On a side note, they never mentioned what the pollen was for. So Red, do you have any ideas?
Maybe they used the pollen as food, medicine, or potions, I guess? I don't know. Fluttershy said the breeze helps activate the magic to protect the pollen, but in what ways does the magic protect the pollen? I mean, pollen doesn't go bad. There's no magic within the pollen that needs to be safe. Maybe the magic just keeps the pollen from falling out of the packs. I don't know, it wasn't explained. Well, I think it's time for our final thoughts. I liked the introduction of the Breezies, but I didn't like how they were portrayed in this episode. That's saying a lot since they consist of 80% of the episode. Everything else in the episode I like. I would say the way I felt about this episode was how I felt about Rainbow Falls. Good story, but poorly executed.
I completely agree. Oh, I think I fixed your remote, Redcord.
Awesome, now get me the hell out of this toy line madness.
Sure thing. Just let me click the button and...
Wait, you're facing it the wrong way.
What just happened? I kind of feel weird.
You turned yourself into a fly swatter.
I have this sudden urge to smash something small and weak.
Whoa, stay back, man. Ah!
Come back here, let me smash you. I didn't mean to say that.
I'm Record and thank you all for watching. Ah! Get away from me, Quickscript, go away!
Subscribe to me!